Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to play myself a little bit of Rogue Company again. I don't know, I just really enjoyed this game. I'm going to try and get the new sniper and use him a little bit on strikeout. May succeed, may not, who knows, we'll see. I really enjoy him. I played him a couple of rounds and I don't think I did half bad, but that was without commentary, and this time I shall be doing commentary again. And I think I'll talk a little bit over faith, the word faith today. It's a very central concept. It's a very central concept to Christianity, and I think it's incredibly important. And so I think that will be my starting ground. Probably talk a little bit about what faith is, its classical definition, how people oftentimes will see it or interpret it to be, and why it's so important under Christian doctrine, which many people are probably going to be well aware of, but not everybody. And many people have a very odd understanding of the word faith, especially where it appears in Scripture. And I'll probably even explain a little bit the relationship between faith and divine revelation. Let's see if I can get myself to fix her. There we go. That's two snipers on this team. Let's see how that works out for us. Might work out terribly. Anyways, the word faith, a lot of the times, and I'll start here, is understood as to believe in spite of reason, like you believe it regardless of whether there's reason to believe it or not. A lot of atheists will view it this way heavily, and a lot of Christians thinking that, oh, this must be the actual definition, that you can't have evidence with faith for some reason, but they'll say, hey, they'll try and defend it and say, I have faith, I don't need reason, stuff like that, and then there'll be people, and this isn't an old concept or an old argument necessarily. Back in
Remember, you
the
agreed to this.
second
No
century,
turning back
Origin
now.
argued against a man named Celsus
Ooh,
concerning
wait.
this topic, where he argued that your people put faith above reason. And Celsus had a very good
Strikeout.
argument,
Safety's
I
off.
believe.
Weapons hot.
I don't think it works as perfectly today as necessary, but he argues that every position has people who must take things upon more faith than others for the reasoning that they have their daily lives to concern them with and their livelihood and feeding their family. Everybody has the same ability.
Utility out.
Lethal out.
Not everybody has the same ability as others to study.
Down, mayday.
Darn. To study. Not everybody has the
Lethal
time
out.
and energy to put into studying everything, so obviously there are going to be people who are going to take things on more faith than others because they don't have the time to research.
Hey, help me out. Enemy spotted.
Five lives left. Make them count. Down. Enemy spotted.
You had a chance against me?
Ooh, lordy. Sorry, suddenly went silent. I'm trying my hardest.
You had a chance against me?
Live.
Lethal out.
Dadgum, this is going to be trying.
I need a hand.
Need help.
Hey,
Keep
help
getting
me
body
out.
shots.
Give me your
I'm not doing very good
No
trying to
more
commentate
reinforcements available.
and play games. I mean, telling this takes a lot of
Overtime.
practice.
Get that objective.
But anyways, and he argues that not everybody has the same amount of time to study as and check things as
45
they
seconds
themselves
to go.
did.
Get to it.
So it was unfair.
Enemies have 5 lives left. Keep up the pressure. 30 seconds. Finish Finish the mission.
I'm just not shooting my shots.
Lethal out. What did you expect?
10
Utility out.
seconds remaining. Get to it.
Down, mayday.
Just gonna do it. I'm not doing too
Secure the
good
objective.
with this whole
Shake it off.
commentating thing while doing. My goodness. Anyways, that was his argument back to him. I think it's a good argument. I think it works well. I mean, it even works well today, I believe.
Perfect, that's the one.
Here's this kick. I'll go ahead and take that. But what does the word faith mean under the original Koine Greek definition? It comes from the word Pisces, and it means to reasonably put your trust into something. It means to put your trust. Simply, honestly, that is it, to put your trust in something, which doesn't necessarily mean you do so without reason. And oftentimes, one will have reasoning behind their faith.
Lethal out.
So to argue that you believe things against reason or without reasoning, and somehow teach that.
Lethal out.
Ooh.
Hey, give me up, OG down.
My shooting, I just can't do it. Trying to commentate and talk is just ridiculous. Why?
A little help, please.
Utility out.
I need a hand.
Oh my goodness.
Learn. Revenge killing half off. Yo, get on the Wallace
I'll
Hot.
get you, buddy. I'll get you, buddy.
Just a flesh wound.
Let's see if we can do this. And of course, faith is a
Again. A little help, please.
On your feet.
5 lives left.
Hey, give me up, OG
Nope,
down.
wasn't even that one. Oh, I don't know why they're running the lead.
What did you expect?
It's our
Enemies
team's
have
already
5
given up
reinforcements
before
remaining.
it's even started. I just wish I could get my shots off. I was doing just fine earlier, now I start commentating, and it just gets so daggum difficult.
Just a flesh wound.
Getting out here.
On your feet.
Lethal out.
I'm gonna take your,
Don't tell anyone about this, okay?
Utility out.
They're out of lives.
Utility out. Enemy spotted.
45 seconds remaining.
Hey, help me out.
dang it, almost.
Bleeding out here.
Hey, help me out.
30 seconds to go. Keep it steady.
I'm down. Enemy
Got her.
spotted.
Lethal.
10 seconds and this is ours.
You had a chance against
Good stuff,
me?
good
Enemies
stuff.
have been wiped out. First round
I
on
started
me.
doing a little bit better, but I just kind of stopped commentating. So that's essentially all that faith is. C.S. Lewis does excellent explanation of it himself when he starts explaining that his reasoning that gets you on the surgical table after knowing that the doctor's good and he's done a good job, and it's faith that keeps you on it. So it's not faith versus reason, rather it's reason and faith versus changing emotion. obviously we are all going to accept certain a mock room of things, regardless of the possibility of failure. I love what Origin says concerning that.
Lethal out.
Oh, Lordy.
Lethal out.
Cons-
I'm bleeding out here.
Down, mayday.
Yep, we got double team. Dang it. Come on, shooting. You can do this. This is my first. Earlier I was playing, and it has been a little bit, and I need to get myself back into that.
What did you expect?
Saying that. And let's get this done.
Enemy spotted. Here.
Utility out.
Move here.
Move it.
Go here. Enemy spotted. Move here.
A little help, please.
We only have 5 reinforcements remaining.
Ooh, that sound just now kind of hit my fear trigger.
I need a hand.
What did you
Ah, my goodness.
Lethal out.
He's not gonna move because we get that.
Get up.
I'm fine.
Help you up.
lethal out?
Dang it.
OG down.
Enemies are running low on reinforcements.
And he argues into it that people will plant their seeds in their field because they know that it can counter amount of good, regardless of whether it's always going to be the case. You know, I mean, that's not word for word what he said, but I believe it's decently close enough. And she's up here.
I'm down. They're out of lives. You're all that's left. No more.
Oh my goodness! Ah! I can't think straight, so I'm dead good. Dead for good. Let me read this. Since then there's reason that teaches we must repose faith in someone of those who have been introducers of sex among the Greeks or barbarians. Why should we not rather believe in God, who is over all things, and in him who teaches the worship is due to God alone, and that other things are to be passed by, either as non-existent or as existing indeed and worthy of honor, but not of the worship of pretense? For who enters on a voyage, or contracts a marriage, or becomes the father of children, or casts seed into the ground without believing that better things will result from so doing? All men, regardless of time, have done such things. So it seems quite odd to put down those of the church as if they are somehow less or more ridiculous for putting faith into something than others. Faith is absolutely essential in Christian belief, especially because in Abraham, it was by faith that he was saved, and it was not by circumcision, but by faith, because the circumcision itself was a sign of his faith.
Lethal out.
A lot of the times, people who interpret,
Lethal out.
a lot of the times, individuals who interpret
Easy.
Alright, come on, buddy.
Move in.
Nobody? Nobody? Really? Come on, man. That's a waste of life. That is absolutely a waste of life. You could have gone down in here and rezzed me. But a lot of people who interpret faith other than as I've expressed usually will use the verse in Hebrews where it says that faith is evidence of things unseen.
Enemies have 5 lives left. Keep up the pressure.
I should have used my
You
thingy.
again.
I should have used my thingy. I'm not doing very hot, guys. I'm sorry. I've done so much better in the past. But
5 lives left. Let's make them count.
A little help, please. Movement spotted. Move here.
Utility out.
Enemy spotted.
Lethal out. Down. Enemy spotted. Go here.
They're out of reinforcements. Finish the job.
Take it on you. Revenge killing half off. Get on it while it's hot.
Lethal out.
Deploying utility. Lethal out. Utility out.
Done with you.
Someone's playing the objective for a reason. Great work.
woohoo, we win.
Go here.
They often take that faith is evidence of that which is unseen. My answer to that tends to focus around divine revelation. Reason can express to me that Christ died, and even give to me an understanding that he rose from the dead by looking at historical accounts and events, asking yourself the question, why would these individuals lie about this? And so it was like, oh, for fame or glory, but they were literally dying. Hundreds of them who are witnesses of the risen Christ dying. It wasn't just the apostles, but dying based on this life for what gain of their own. And not just dying to die, being burnt alive, hung upside down from a cross, being skinned to death, being eaten and mauled by different creatures, lions, wild beasts. These are not desirable deaths in any stretch of the imagination, and so they have nothing to gain. You have them telling the story of the women finding the tomb, which at that time women's opinion or women's testimony was not very highly understood. These sort of things can be reasonings, whether you think they're strong or weak reasonings. They are still reasonings that I can come to and surmise that the death of Christ happened and that his resurrection did in fact occur. Matter of fact, the death isn't usually argued against outside of a few individuals here and there, and mostly of the Islamic persuasion. So I can reasonably assume, based on these evidences that I see, whether you think it's strong or weak or valid or not, there's still reasoning behind it that I hold to and that I can look at and say, well, this is why I believe this, to assess that Christ did die and resurrect. Now, how do I know that his death and resurrection heals me from my sin or saves me from my sin? That is divine revelation. That is the faith of the things not seen. I have the evidence of the crucifixion. I have the evidence of his resurrection. But it is faith that goes that steps longer within divine revelation that saves me, that redeems my lost soul. So that's honestly how I would reply to that, is the expression.
Utility out. Hey, give me up. OG
Oh, I
down.
forgot they had him. You can also see through my smoke.
I got you, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
Enemy spotted.
Down, mayday.
Is that all you've got?
Trying. Now let's see if I can get into this game and do decently with shooting, because I have
We have
not
5
been.
lives left.
I'm bleeding out here.
What the heck was that just now?
Need help.
This doesn't mean I like you.
Down, mayday.
Ah, terrible at getting up there like that. I cannot concentrate and play at the same time. But that's usually how I would spawn to something of that nature.
We're out of reinforcements. Overtime.
Utility out.
Out here.
Get in there.
Yeah, I don't think we've got this. First round's gone. First round's done. I was not doing the greatest.
Is that all you've got?
You can do it, buddy. I believe in you. Look at you. Boom.
Friendly's eliminated.
Nice try.
That's gonna hurt the bottom
You
line.
did good. You did good, buddy. I believed in you, and you did fine. And you did go up and help meet those expectations.
Perfect. That's the
All right, let's
one.
do this. I didn't do very hot that game. I think I got one down. That's it. Holy cannoli, I did not do good at all. That was a very closed-in space. I don't do good with closed-in
Perfect.
spaces
That's
with
the
this
one.
guy. But it's very important to understand this sort of thing, and understand the faith of that revelation that is the death of Christ was securing to the salvation, and faith is absolutely central to that, because as it says in Paul, says by Paul, and in Romans, it is not by circumcision, but by faith that
Lethal out.
ooh.
Oh, please.
Go for
Good
now.
stuff. I need to get this.
Lethal out.
Lethal out.
What goes around, partner?
I'm not doing very good, but my team's doing fine.
Is that all you've got? Enemies have 5 lives left.
Revenge killing half fuck. Get on it while it's hot. Stay on it. Revenge killing half fuck.
We can do this.
Get
I
on it while
believe
it's
in
hot.
us. Whew, nice shooting, Tex. We can do this. We're all hiding back there. Oh yeah.
Lethal out. Enemies are out of reinforcements.
Down,
I
mayday.
knew it. I had no chance there. I was almost out of ammo anyway. But it's absolutely essential, and that is what we're saved by. That is what brings you
45
to
seconds
salvation,
remaining.
is having faith in Christ, and that His sacrifice redeems you.
Need help! Enemy spotted. Enemy
We can do this, boyos.
30 seconds left. Hang in there. Enemy spotted. Go here. We've destroyed the
I
enemy
knew it.
force.
I didn't do very
Nice
hot,
work.
but I did better that round than I did previously. I will do better. Just watch. I shall do better. Smoke duration
Ooh-wee.
does not matter to me as much right now. Would like to upgrade that a little bit. I did better last game than I'm doing this game. So this is one of those arguments that often comes against Christians that I just don't understand. Because as Origin brings up, everybody lives by a certain amount of faith because not everybody has the time to focus on every last aspect of a belief.
Who's the fastest gun?
So everybody lives by faith to a certain degree.
Lethal out.
Good stuff, guys. Woo! What? I hit him. I hit him with the sniper, and I roll up there and hit him with my pistol, and it does not kill him.
Enemy spotted.
This doesn't mean I like you.
I guess I owe you one.
Don't.
I'm down. I'm down, mayday. Hey, enemy spotted. Go here. Enemy spotted.
This doesn't mean I like you.
Because you just sat there scoping rather than healing us. My goodness.
Only have 5
So
reinforcements remaining.
Need help. Hey, give me up. OG down.
The enemies have
Me.
5 reinforcements.
Help me, you got this. I believe in you guys.
What
goes around, partner?
We in here.
We're out of reinforcements. Lethal out. 45 seconds. Get in there.
Goes around.
They're out of lives.
Finish the job.
Enemy spotted.
Took out his armor.
This doesn't mean I like you. Help, please.
30 seconds. Finish the mission.
Ooh, that damage fall off though.
Seconds left. Now or never.
I tried. We had 1 second. I had to get up
Enemy
there and do
secured the
something. My
objective.
goodness.
Shake it off.
I'm not doing the greatest with him this round. I'm sorry for the death toll. It's probably not enjoyable regardless of whatever
We're behind.
other
Focus
content
up.
may be available.
Spend them
Thank
Benjis,
you.
that's what they're there for.
Spend them Benjis. Until this guy said it, I didn't even know that was a saying. But yeah, it's just odd to me. Because obviously that's not what Faith means, that's not historically what Faith means. I don't think there's any scholar of Koine Greek, as far as I've been aware, who believes that the word pistis is translated the way they want to claim it is. Or not translated, but understood the way they try and claim it is. Dang it.
Hey, give me up. OG down.
Double teamed. Ah, lordy. I need to get them initial shots off. I haven't been doing that very well.
Lethal out. Need help.
I'm down, mayday.
Oh my goodness. Why? No. I'm getting sick and tired of these guys just... What the heck's going on right now?
Lethal out.
That was weird. My controller just like died on me. And now my sensitivity is very odd.
A little help, please.
We're out of reinforcements.
You thought you had a chance against me? Hey, give me up. OG down.
Ah.
Seconds remaining.
Anyways,
Running out.
it's been a blast. Gonna finish off this game, and that'll be it for today. A little talk about faith, but faith means what it derives from, the Greek word it comes from, you know, all that jazz.
30 seconds
Been a
remaining.
pleasure.
Let's move.
Just enjoy this last little gameplay of somebody else, because I'm dead. Because I did terrible that last round. Sorry, y'all. There's a little bit of the new gameplay of the new character, even if it wasn't done the best. God bless.